Hey guys, and welcome back to Battlefront updates and some more very exciting Scarif DLC content. In this video I wanted to talk about what might be the best loadout in the Scarif DLC, or to be more exact, what is my favorite loadout in this DLC, because we got roughly, I think, between 6 and 8 hours of gameplay time at the event over in LA, and there is simply no way I would be able to try out every single combination with the old and new stuff. So this is going to be the loadout that I personally did the best with at the event, and something I would recommend you guys to try out when the DLC is out. But I will make a lot of more loadout videos closely after the release and show off new combos that I will try during my streams and things that you guys suggest, of course. One thing I want to note that I personally think is very good with this DLC is the fact that both new blasters, both the DT29 and the A180, are very good blasters. They are not super OP, but they are good. After the previous DLCs, there's usually only been one blaster that people actively use, such as the last DLC people mostly use the TL50 and a little bit of Briar Pistol against the vehicles. And in the Bespin DLC, most people just use the EE4 and pretty much no one used the Night Sniper. But in this DLC, I felt like I could do good with both blasters, and that is something that I gotta give a huge props to Christian, the weapon designer, for actually finding that balance. But the loadout that I did play the best with was with the DT29, Jump Pack, Bacta and Personal Shield. This was very similar, of course, to the standard loadout that I usually use in my streams. The difference was, of course, the DT29. And this blaster was a lot of fun to use, and also a very good blaster because it kills in 2 hits from short range, similarly to the DL44. But I personally thought this weapon was a lot easier to hit with, and it fit my playstyle a lot more. The downside, however, is that the damage drop-off is quite significant, so it isn't very good for long range, and on top of that you can only fire 6 shots, that you gotta reload, and that is something that is very different compared to the other blasters, where you can simply balance out the heat of the blaster with the way you're firing, which you can't do with this one. So usually I only got 1 and possibly 2 kills with 1 magazine, depending on how accurate I was, and shooting people at long range, well, that's not really gonna happen with this blaster. In that case, you are better off using the A180 because both the blaster modification and the sniper modification is a lot better for long range. But the loadout I'm showing right now is the one I got the best score with, especially in Blast. And it's obviously also gonna work very well in objective-based game modes because you can jump in, use the shield, that is kind of standard of course, and it's very good for short range. But however, if you want to play infiltration on the third phase, it's better if you switch out the jump pack to something else, because as I mentioned in my infiltration video, if you do jump pack when you have picked up the data tape, you will actually drop it behind you, and this is something that a lot of people might miss at the start because we didn't even notice it ourselves. So the jump pack should not be used in infiltration's third phase or in game modes like cargo. Another very important thing to note with this loadout, and something that took me at least an hour to get used to, is the fact that when you reload your weapon, you can't use your star cards. And since there are no other weapons you can reload, this is a very new mechanic to the game. And I did the mistake a lot of times when I was at low health that I started reloading my weapon and then I died. What you need to do is throw the Bacta bomb first, then reload the weapon, or pop the shield first and then reload the weapon. This is something very important to get used to, because otherwise you will die a lot of times when you do reload the weapon. Something that is also a little bit confusing is that if you reload the weapon and roll sideways, it almost looks like you instantly reload the weapon, and I thought I found a neat little trick that some people might not know about. But then I realized that it's just the animation that looks like that. If you do reload and roll sideways, you will still have to wait the same time before you can shoot the weapon. So just roll if you want to dodge people, not because you want to reload faster. But that is all for this video. I will have plenty more Scarif content coming out very soon, and make sure to stay tuned for my live stream on the release day. Unfortunately, I've been having some very serious internet issues, which is why I haven't been able to stream any content so far, but my goal is to at least stream on the 6th, no matter if I do it from home or if I can borrow someone else's office, or I'm gonna make it work somehow because I really want to stream on release day. But thank you very much for watching, and as always, may the force be with you.
What?